So we got another opportunity to iron out here in Glendale, California at Scholl Canyon Country Club. Opened up in November 1994. I'm playing with my guy, Julian Edelman, AKA Jules. We just gonna iron it out, talk a little football, a lot of personal life, because this man, he's been around some characters. He's been around the GOAT, but he's also been around some dudes that we can't really talk about, but if you tune in, I'm gonna force him to talk about it.
What guys are you talking about?
Let's go.
What guys are you talking about?
I have no idea.
What guys are you talking about? I don't know. Oh my God, this is gonna be fun.
This is a par 4, 259 yards, hole 1. See what we gonna do. We got a little scrambling going on, so best ball, we'll figure it out, have some fun. That's not good. Are those your clubs, your cousin's clubs?
These are my mom's clubs.
I have no idea where this ball is.
I think my ball's right there.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, I know where yours are. You straight? Ooh, right behind that tree. I'll take it.
I gotta focus up here.
I see it. Good shot. How's it going? What did you think when you first got drafted that you do in the league?
When I first got drafted, bro, I was having epiphanies.
Really?
I was like, yo, me, Wes Welker, Randy Moss.
Yeah.
And little did I know, none of that happened. I went to special teams. I didn't see the floor or the field. But you know how it goes when you're a young player. You have all these imaginations.
Yeah.
But little do you know, you got to put the work in.
Yeah.
But I was just so excited to play.
I mean, you got drafted to one of the best organizations who knew how to. It seemed like they already had a plan for you.
You know what?
Or did they not?
They didn't.
The way they present it, though, like the way it's told sometimes, like, man, we got this kid from Kid State. Hey, this is what he's gonna do. This is what he's gonna be.
Yeah, you know what? But it was more of because of the Patriots and where they were.
Yeah.
They could take a chance on a guy like me to work with, like a project player, because they had so much success already going. So you know how it goes. Organizations that have that success,
they got time.
They got time. And with a guy like me, I mean, I was playing third down running back. I was playing DB. You know, I got worked out as all that. And
that's crazy.
You know, to be able to go there, it was cool because they had time. So you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, so I just gotta get this out of the way. You know, we talk about football all the time. We talk about players you play with. You talk about there's some dogs. You've been playing some dogs. Willie McGinnis, Big Will, Tom Brady, the GOAT. And then you played with Gronk, Silly, Goofy, great dude. But you actually really played with some killers. Technically a killer. Just to get out of the way, did you think this dude was catching passes during the day and murdering people at night?
Nah. You know what?
I've always wanted to ask because...
No, 100%. But we didn't know that. We all thought.
Yeah.
Little did we know he was really about that.
Yeah.
He was. He was. But I tell you right now, it was an unfortunate situation for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that whole thing. The family that, you know...
Lost a loved one.
Lost a loved one. But he was honestly probably one of the best football players I ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Like, legit. When you see him on the court, when you see him how he runs routes, he ran routes like a guy that was giving crossovers.
Wow.
And he was 235 pounds, but he ran like he was a smaller guy, but he could body, like, he was a mismatch problem. He was an unbelievable football player that I loved to study because his routes were really good. But I'm sad for everyone in that whole thing. Well,
study long, study wrong. So one of my teammates I played with in Baltimore was with you guys for a little bit.
Who?
Kamar.
Yeah.
And Kamar used to tell me stuff like how the meetings used to go. Like, and they said Bill was like on folks, like no matter what.
Yeah. No one was off limits.
Yeah, like no one was off limits. Man, set that up. Your rookie year, who's in the room? Wide receivers.
Randy Moss, Wes Welker. We traded for Greg Lewis. We had Joey Galloway, who was coming out. He was a little older, but he was still Joey Galloway. He could still run.
He could run at 44.
40. He was like, he could have been 38. But he was running for a rookie. Me, it was like, man, how am I gonna make this team? So
So you really question if you're gonna make the squad?
1,000%.
Wow.
It wasn't until my first game,
which was
Lincoln Financial against the Eagles in preseason, a house to punt.
Ooh.
75.
Okay.
And that's when I got the confidence where I could play this. We could get a spot. Yump 'em.
I like it. Findable, big dog.
That's what made where we were at what we were at. Everyone felt on edge at all times.
Really?
Always.
Man, that feeling on edge, I hate feeling on edge.
Yeah.
Pressure
does.
I say it on TV, pressure floods the basement or makes
diamonds.
Make diamonds.
That's what my dad says.
But here's the problem though. You do assessments. We do assessments and we talk to these young men, and we don't really realize they're not mentally as strong as you think you are, based on you've never been there before. Like, you've never been in the league. We all have journeys, but when you've never been in the league, how are you prepared and ready to go on a journey you've never been on?
See, what that environment did is it showed you they throw you in the water, you either sink or you swim. And that's an easier way because of where we were at and the kind of players we had. If you didn't make it, you were out.
So, so do you think that's been a little bit of decline up there? Is because these kids are not built the same way. They are not because of anything negative. It's just the surroundings. Like the things that we went through as kids, today's definition would be child abuse. Like I remember reading your stuff about your dad used to make you catch and you did this or you did that and you didn't want to do it, and he was just like he was on you. Boy, today they take custody from your pop.
Without a doubt, but they probably would
because of the standard that today is.
Yeah. You know what?
And I'm not saying like, and I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just saying like there's different. Like you look at NIL, you look at college. Like college kids today will transfer because the Chick-fil-A on campus is closed on Sundays.
Yeah.
Even though they're closed.
But you know what they're doing now? It's starting to weed out the guys earlier.
Yeah.
Because college is pro football now.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be a guy that bounces around, transfers this, that, and the other,
they're
going to know that.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know, we're getting introduced to a different chapter.
Yeah. You like the way football's going right now?
What, in college? I mean, we don't know any different. It's completely different than we ever went.
Yeah.
Because if I would have came out and I would have had my sophomore year, I went to JUCO for a year. You went to JUCO.
Yes, sir.
I would have went to Kent State. I was second team All-MAC my first year. I probably would have transferred to Oregon. You know what I mean? And that's just what it would have been in those days.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because everyone's trying to get a better opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's completely different than what we're used to.
Come on. See if we can get this par.
Yam 'em.
Oh. Everybody talks about the Patriot way, but what really is, now that he's not there anymore, right? Bill Belichick, what is actually the Patriot way? Because we hear it.
Yeah.
But, you know, playing in the league, the Patriot way, from what I heard, it was unique.
It was unique, but the Patriot way, I always tell everyone, you had Congress, which was Bill Belichick. He made the laws. And then you had guys like, when I first got there, Teddy Bruschi, Tom Brady, Kevin Falk, that were the sheriffs that held the laws. So like, the whole Patriot way was just accountability by the leadership and the standard that was created through the success that they had. So it was never a coach that got on you. A coach would get on you. But if you did something wrong and it was addressed in the team room or in a Bill lowlight, it didn't only show you that you weren't playing the right way, it showed everyone. So when the meeting was over and you were a receiver that had an ME on a formation or a concept, you wouldn't just hear it from the guys in your room in offense. Bill would break it down in front of everyone. So when you were walking out of that team room, you'd see a defensive guy and he goes, "Oh, what happened on that side adjustment? You didn't get that?" So the fact that everyone saw it, that embarrassment, that accountability that the team had, it made you like really embarrassed if you didn't do your job because you had to do it was addressed by everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I hear that and I'm like, that's dope. But I also hear it and I go, man, not a lot of people have been able to deal with that.
Well, they weren't there. If you couldn't deal with it, you were gone.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. Like, you either get part of the team or you get on. Because they didn't, like, that's, when you have the quarterback, the coach combo, everyone else is ready.
Par 4, 324 yards. What you gonna use? I'm gonna go with my driver. See if I can let the big dog eat.
I don't know if I can let the big dog eat.
I can't either, but I'm gonna go with my hybrid. I was just talking.
I'll go with the high B2. So, you know, that's one thing that people don't realize, that like in college, you get to work these boys.
I know.
You get to run them to death. You get to practice them in the off. We didn't touch pads until July.
I remember.
But, you know, when you get to have actual quality time with these guys, and they get to hit, and you get to practice them like the way you can practice them in college because there's no work labor laws, which is another thing that they'll probably get into in 5 years. like, I think that he's going to develop players. And I think he's going to get guys on the right side.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those things where the more you think about it, the more it makes sense that, like, all right, I guess I understand why Bill's here.
I'm using my hybrid 323 par 4. See if we can loosen it up a little bit.
There you go. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, Johnny Appleseed. Good shot. I try not to cuss. You know what, one thing that I would say that does bug me about you? There's one thing that does bug me.
What is it?
You're a Cali dude.
I know.
But you have this Boston bravado that, like, we don't change. West Coast guys don't change our stripes.
Yeah, we don't change our stripes, but I became a young man in Boston.
I understand. Like, even when you started talking, you hit the old man.
Well, because honestly, I do that because my hip gets so tired.
You got bad hips?
Well, you know,
So
it's tight.
really, so you're really not black as they think you are. That's cool. I like this.
I ain't
That's
that
cool.
black.
I know you have a daughter,
Yeah.
but if you had a son, would you let your son play football?
Yeah. He'd have to play it properly, though. You know.
Explain that. Explain
You know.
properly, because a lot of people don't know what properly
You
is.
know, just right technique when you're tackling, keeping your head up.
See ball, hit ball,
bite ball.
bite ball.
You know, we're not. I can't not let a kid that is a part of me that has my blood not play football if he wants to play football.
Yeah. All too hard.
No, that's good.
Ooh. I'll take it. We got something to pick from. Good shot.
It's just crazy because we forget that, like, we're all dogs. Like, all our boys, like, everyone that we played with was a guy.
Yeah.
So then all their little kids are guys.
Yeah. They are, man. It's funny that
So
you
it's so
forget.
fun to watch, like, watching Deron Harmon's kids, watching Andre Carter, little Quincy's kids, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's a cool thing to see the new generation. But what were you saying about the receivers?
Who's your guys that you like them?
I think Jamar Chase is
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
He can run every route. When the ball's in his hands, he can make things happen. He's got a lower strong end. He plucks the ball.
Yeah.
All these guys can do it all now. The game has gotten so much better at the receiver position because of the information that we all had. Like, when we were young, we used to hear about the folklore of how Jerry Rice chained. Now these guys can go and watch. Nice putt.
All right.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Lag putt. You got to get there.
How long have you been playing golf?
I just started up this year. Like, for real.
Yeah.
You know, when I was playing, I'd have a surgery every off season, so you can't really play.
How many every off season?
I had 14 surgeries.
On what?
Knees, ankles, shoulders, feet.
Good putt. Really?
I never got to really play in the off season. I mean, I played, but now that we have time, and what you explained on my podcast, that just sense of almost like therapeutic
Yeah.
things that you get from golf, competing with yourself, having time to think.
Yeah. What you going with?
Pitching wedge.
You got a pitching wedge?
Nice soft pitching wedge. Oh. We're on you, Bubs.
It's findable though. Hey, bro, that's one place I've become. That's translated from the golf course to real life. The bright side.
The bright side. I need the bright side.
That threw you off?
No.
The bright side is it's short, but you can find it.
It's straight.
Yep. Actually, it's to the right a little bit though.
But it's kind of in the fairway on a par 3. Here we go.
I'll take it. What made Tom so good? A lot of people say he's just a dink and dunk guy. That's not what I believe, but I'm just...
Yeah, no. A lot of people say that, but a dink and dunk guy is Derek Carr.
That's true.
When it was a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 12, he could process and know where to go.
5th hole, par 3, from the blue, 167.
Uphill?
Uphill.
A little wind in the back.
Yep. Nope.
Let's see if I can help us.
Oh, Jim. Ooh.
We'll see it goes.
That's my teammate right there. Good job. Good job.
I would have loved to play with Steve.
Ooh.
He would have fired me up. Steve on the outside, I'll hit the slot.
Hey, people don't understand the difference of playing slot receiver and playing out wide.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand that. Explain that to people, especially playing X. You gotta get creative with your stuff.
Yeah.
In the slot, you get a little bit of help with the different types of people that the linebacker or someone has to run through
space.
or get to.
You get more space. You have 52 yards to get open when you're in the slot. That's what people don't realize. When you're on the outside, you have to get creative because you only have 6 yards to the. If you're a +2 split, you got 6 yards to the sideline.
Yeah.
And like you said, matchups are always different in the slot.
Yeah.
But
you did a hell of a job outside as well, though. You lined up everywhere.
I had more catches on the outside than I had inside. That's what people don't realize.
Yeah.
And I played a lot of F.
Yeah. This downhill is going a little bit left. Wow, that was pretty good.
There it is. Can we birdie this?
That was our birdie. This is the par.
I mean, par it. Can we par it? No break. Dead straight.
What's something about you that doesn't get said enough? That you feel like people are, like, you feel like you misunderstood, or?
I don't know. I think a lot of people A lot of people think that I was just a try-hard white guy. You know what I mean? They don't understand that I was still probably one of the baddest athletes, and anytime I stepped on the field, I felt that.
Okay.
You know, I may not have been Steve Smith.
No.
But Joker could get out. That was honestly, that was the thing that
okay,
guys would underestimate me because I'm white. Like a corner, he would look at me and like, oh, and then I would route his ass up, and then they would know. You know, like that was one of the things. Like when people look at me and they say, oh, well, you know, that could be my son. the kid who tries. They don't understand. I was that dude. I was that dude.
You was that dude. You was Jules.
So
I love it.
I think, you know, that's something that's a little misunderstood. They think that, you know, I was just a guy that knew everything on the field, and you know, they don't realize that.
So you weren't just a bookworm.
No. Honestly, I was probably less of a bookworm than what people think.
Really?
I mean, I understood the game.
Yeah. I would say that I don't think every player understands the game.
Nah, I agree with that.
Not every player.
If you understand the game, you can stay in the game a long time.
Yeah.
And that's why people don't.
Yeah. Ooh,
There we go.
there we go.
Short.
I thought you were a hell of a football player. I love watching you play, man. The only thing I was jealous of is you just had a quarterback and an offense that, like, you know, everybody had audibles, but y'all had audibles on steroids. Like, you flipped the whole formation and everything. Like, it wasn't even fair.
We could run the same play against every coverage, and the route could change 4 different ways.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a product of
Everybody knowing what to do.
knowing what to do,
Everybody
being on the same page.
Everybody trusting that people will listen.
That's exactly what it is.
Bro, you on the green. What are you talking about, short?
I thought I was a little short.
Look good to me. This wanted to give you a chance, man. You took the time out of your time, and I know, you know, once you do that, you can't get it back. So I wanted to just give you a shirt to appreciate, let you know, man.
What is this shirt, man?
So this shirt is what I think you like. Glizzy's at the turn.
At the turn. Glizzy, a New York thing. Hot dogs at the turn. I can't wait to wear that.
There you go, man.
My dog.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, that's a pause, too.
My guy. So many glizzies. Glizzies are everywhere.
You work with Chuck, Wilson, Vic, yourself, and Carissa Thompson.
And Peter Schrager.
The Shrakes!
Shraggy.
Shrakes is dope.
And then, you know, every once in a while I'll go on the 9 o'clock show and see Terry, Howie, and the boys. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, you put in half the work or a third of the work of you do as a coach, but you still get the same kind of excitement to me.
Tell me about these motivational books, though. What was the purpose? What was the meaning, purpose behind that?
What, my kids' books?
Yeah.
My kid was my inspiration. I had my little girl. We won a Super Bowl, so we started making these books. It was fun.
Yeah.
The memoir, which was, you know, just a regular story book.
It's your story, though. Pretty cool story, I think. Maybe I'm biased, but I think.
It was. But, you know, it's more of a way to communicate with the people that follow you and support you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to be able to communicate with those people is huge. And that's kind of what we did with that.
Hey man, appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Love you, Juice.
Love you, bro.
Man, you're awesome dude, man.
You are.
Awesome dude. And this has been another great episode with Ironed Out. My guy, Julian Edelman, out here in California. We travel. So you want us to come to you next? Let us know. Drop some comments in the comment section that I actually do pay attention to. This is Ironed Out. Julian Edelman. We out.